I got bit by a pit bull dog on that same trip. Man, did he bite me. Oh, that dog got me good. I was jogging. Whew, I was on a roll. I'm going down the street and he come off the porch. He's coming hard. I laughed. I said, hey, buddy. I'm thinking all bark, no bite. I thought, dude, you're a shock collar dog, man. You're going to get 2 feet from the curb. So I'm just trotting by him with confidence. Hey, little buddy, hey. Whap! He had me. Wham! He drove his teeth into my leg. Pitbull. Pulled his teeth out and waddled back to the porch. I looked down at that street, and that quick, my whole side of my leg and sneaker is blood, and it's going onto the road. I looked back, and I got a hole that I could stick my pinky in a main vein or something, whatever you got here. Something that tells you you're going to die if it gets cut. It's pouring. I've never seen blood come out of a human body like that in my life. And I went, oh, Jesus. I looked up, and the lady came out. And she said, did he bite you? Watch, you can't do this on purpose. You see how I am right now? It's how I was the whole time. That's impossible. I can't teach that, you can't train for that. But you can be with him. And you can love not your own life unto death with him. So when things come against you, you don't know what that means. Because it ain't coming against you. You're living for the kingdom. You're seeking first the kingdom. You want to manifest the kingdom. And in every situation, it's all about the kingdom. So you're consumed and possessed with the kingdom. Because before the kingdom, yourself possessed you. The devil possessed some of us. Addiction possessed us. Lies possessed us. Lust possessed us. So if I'm going to be possessed, it's going to be for the kingdom. So that when that dog bites me, I don't know how to be anything but what Jesus would be. So I looked at her and I smiled and I said, yeah, he did, honey, but it's okay. Everything's fine. You'll understand in a minute. I'll explain. Could you grab me a towel? And I started to walk towards the house. And she just ran in. And I got up there and the husband came out. And he doesn't even know what to do. What's going through his mind? Liabilities. Dog's going to be dead yet today. Man's going to sue us. We got to pay all his bills. He might get infected and die. His mind's spinning. I looked at him and I said, sir, you don't have to say anything. It's okay. Everything's fine, I promise you. I said, listen, if it's possible, your dog bit the right person. Hallelujah. And I said it with the biggest, gentlest smile. If it's possible, your dog bit the right person. And I'll explain everything in a minute, because Jesus, sir, he's my king. Lady came out with a towel, she's shaking. I said, honey, relax, it's okay. I just explained to your husband, listen, Jesus is my king. He makes everything good. He's incredible. I got blood pouring out of me the whole time. I'm not even thinking about that. I'm not even thinking it's possible to bleed to death. It never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind. Why? I surrendered so long ago in prayer. I don't love my own life unto death. It's not about dying. I'm never going to die. It's the only way I can teach it. It's supernatural. You can't try this. You can't listen to this sermon and then try to be okay. You're a day late. You can't get bit by the dog and then say, okay, what did Pastor say? What did Pastor say? You got to be with him now. Yeah? I took the towel from her. This is the same weekend they wanted to take me out. I wiped up over all this blood with the towel, and I went over the hole, and I saw the big hole. Totally impossible. I was one wipe of a towel. I went over the hole, and my flesh got kind of clean, and I wiped it clean, and no more blood come out of the hole. But there's a hole, but no more blood, none. And I laughed, and I said, you see my Jesus? I laughed, I said, that's my Jesus. And then I started wiping with this other towel. No more blood. I got his canines in my leg, tattooed. Bam. One's pretty bad, the other one's deep in that main vein or whatever. Serious hole. I said, now listen, I need to talk to you guys. I said, because today's a day of mercy for you. And they're looking at me. I said, listen, I could have been a child, an elderly person, or somebody that doesn't have the heart I have. And now you see the potential of your dog. I said, guys, you can't let, they said, well, he's never out. I just stop. He was out. So stop. If you're gonna have a dog like this, for whatever reason you want him, you have to be sure he's never out again and this can never happen again. Today's a day of mercy for you. Because you'll never hear about this. You'll never hear from me again. She said, well, shouldn't we take you to the hospital? I said, honey, I already told you about Jesus. Everything's fine. I got 2 more miles to run. I said, and I got something I got to do tonight, and I got to get moving. But I love you too. Please learn the lesson today. And Father, right now, would you? And I stood there and blessed them and prayed over them. And they're looking at me like, and I just took off down the road. So I got back to the hotel where the little clerk got wrecked when I left and cried because I heard a word and her childhood and insecurity, and bam, pow, whoosh, this is so good. So she's at the desk and she loves me now. I'm like a grandpa to her. She loves me. She's hoping I come back to town all the time. She's like, I'm gonna miss you. Thank you. Oh, you feel like my grandpa. And I come in and she sees my sock all red and my sneaker all bloody. She just happened to look down and see it. She said, because, well, it was pretty two-toned. White and red. She's like, is that blood? I said, yeah. I said, it's okay. She said, what happened? I said, I got bit by a dog. I said, crazy dog, man. He just come running off. I guess I got territorial. I thought he was a shock collar dog, but he ain't no shock collar dog. I said, he bit me. And I said, and he just waddled back up on the porch. And I said, but everything's good. She said, are you going to the hospital? I said, well, no, I'm fine. Everything's fine. She said, oh, no. It's amazing. First person I run into has a traumatic dog bite story. Oh, no, sir, you gotta, look, I care about you. You're such a nice man. My mom got bit by a dog and she didn't do nothing. And she swelled up in pain and she throbbed for 3 days. She wished she could have died. She wanted to cut off her hand. And I'm like, honey, stop. Remember when I left Jesus? Remember Jesus? Oh, yeah. Listen, look at me. Everything's good. Oh, that's what the church says, brother. I disagree. You need to use wisdom. God put doctors on the... I'm not against doctors. I've never preached against doctors in my life. I'm not against doctors. Go to a doctor. Make sure you have faith. Go to a doctor. I'm not even thinking doctor in that. I'm okay. Leave me alone if I'm okay. Don't tell me all these crazy stories in Sunday school as a kid growing up. And then when I need faith, talk me out of it. Because now I'm old enough to know better. You want to tell me that a boy killed a giant with a sling? That a whale held a man in his belly for days, coughed him up, and he was fine? That they shouted and walls fell to the ground? You're going to tell me all these stories and try to teach me faith when I'm little, and then when I'm old enough to need faith, you're going to try to tell me to use wisdom. This precious black man, I love this guy. He pops around the corner. He's the maintenance fella. We hugged, we laughed. He was my buddy. He turned the corner. He's real Southern. I'm not mocking him. Just understand I loved him. I grew up in the city. I just laughed at this man. He turned around. He said, hey, man, you got bit by a dog? And that's just how he talked. You got bit by a dog? I said, I did, sir. He said, whoa, man, you need to listen to the girl, man. You need to go to the hospital because I got bit by a dog. I said, 2 people and they both got dog bite stories. So he's being charismatic. He sounds like he'd be good in church, right? He says, no, I got bit by a dog, man. He's talking fast and he got Southern in him. And I'm watching. He's so serious. He's trying to help me, right? And he said, So you need, I said, I'm good, man. He said, well, what'd you do about the dog? Well, what about the dog? They coming to get the dog? Like, what'd you do with the people? Like, what? I said, listen, man, I just told them today's a day of mercy. They need to do a better job keeping that dog in the house. Don't ever let this happen again. Your dog bit the right person because I love you, and I prayed for him. And I ran down the road and did my 2 miles. And he said, what? Watch what he said. No, he said, you for real, man. You for real. He said, you for real. Yeah, man, you for real. And I said, you know what? I said, people blame that on me a lot. They say I'm for real. And I said, I don't know what else there is. I guess there's half in, half out, lukewarm, insincere, hypocrisy. I think all there is real. But I said, one of the greatest testimonies I always seem to get from people is, you know what I like about you? You're real. And I'm like, well, what are you? What are you? What are the rest of us? What do you mean? It's a sad day when the testimony I receive from the church is, you know what I like about you? You're for real. Because nobody else is. We're just kind of doing this thing. I laughed. I said, you better believe I'm for real, man. I said, come here. I love you so much. I said, you'd be good at church, man. I said, yeah. So I talked to him and I told him I'm fine. I said, listen, a man's coming to pick me up. I said, I got an appointment with him. He had a radio station. I don't do that stuff too much. I don't do any TV media. I stay away from all that stuff. I just do. I just have certain convictions. I'm not against it. I just stay away from it. It has a weird reverb to it. And I lay as low as I can, and somehow I haven't been able to lay low. So this guy's coming, he wants me to do an interview, radio interview, and I told him I would do it. It's a half hour. He contacted me for I don't know how long and said, you got to do another one. It was the most views we ever had. People want to play it again. I've played it 4 times, and there's more views now than there was. I'm like, stop. I go up my room, I said, he's coming, I gotta go get a shower quick. I took a shower, I just wore jeans, I just had jeans on, I put on my jeans, and you know what I said? I said, you know what? You got this, so got this. I ain't rapping it or nothing. I just gonna put my jeans on. I just put my jeans on. I just went to service. I got a hole that I literally, honestly could stick my pinky in. And the other one was kind of serious, but not that bad. This is true as I'm standing here. You don't have to believe me. I would understand it. There's actually a lot of unbelief in the church. But when I got back from service to the hotel room and got undressed to get in my comfies, the one hole was completely closed. The other hole was almost closed. In the morning, it was a red spot. In the morning. It's called covenant. It's called all that is mine is yours, and all that is yours is mine. It's called love not your own life unto death. It's called seek not your own, but seek ye first the kingdom of God. Look, if I'd have took it personal, if I'd have got mad at them people, if I'd have called whatever and got the dog put down, if I'd have held them accountable and made them pay me for suffering, I might have got infected. I might have needed stitches. I might have had a throbbing leg in the morning. But when you seek first the kingdom and you walk in love and you cover everything, a multitude of everything in love, you're walking in a grace that's hard to describe. You can hardly teach it, and people can hardly relate to it because we've been self-centered. I'm not spanking you. I'm cheering you on. I'm saying, why don't we all just go after this thing? Why don't we all just learn what it means to love each other and not believe we're being passive over a doormat? Cut me a break. Was Jesus a doormat? People say, well, brother, I ain't letting nobody walk over me. Nobody walked over Jesus. He did what he did willingly to show us what love looked like. He's amazing. He's the living epistle of love. He's so powerful hanging on that cross, standing in front of Pilate, so impressive. He's the one that was and is to come, King of kings and Lord of lords. And he's standing there like a beaten man and won't say a word. Why? So you can get filled with his spirit one day. Not so you can complain, not so you can stand for your own rights, not so you can have issues and get mad at God because you didn't get the promotion. So now you ain't praying for a while. I hope we're okay today. This is a different kind of service for me. I'm not even sure what's going on. Are you okay? Here's what I do know. Here's what I do know. That family that owned that dog, I ain't seen them since. But I know that had to touch them. I know that had to affect them. I don't know how you escape that kind of stuff. I don't think you just put that on the back burner.